there while I get everything set up. And this is the suspect from yesterday's chase that ended in the violent crash. He did a jailhouse news conference today. So this is Mitchell Taebel, the 31-year-old responsible for leading DPS officers on that chase and then rolling the red Jeep Grand Cherokee that he was in. So we are going to play that for you now on News Now, just here momentarily as soon as we're ready. All right, everybody, welcome to News Now here on the Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. You're taking a very quick look at the New York City skyline because we have the jailhouse news conference with Mitchell Taebel, the 31-year-old accused of causing that chase in the valley yesterday and that crash in Tempe right by Arizona State University. You're going to watch it now.
Hi. Are you recording already? Hi, how's it going? Okay, everybody's recording already. I guess I'll cut to the chase and go right to it. Hold on. I'm going to stand here and talk. All the cameras are going already. I'd like to talk about probable cause. There is no probable cause in this case. You're already recording. Just keep going.
We can't hear you, though. We have to have a microphone.
Your mics are over there.
Yeah.
You're recording now?
We just want to hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
How
you.
you doing there?
Good. How are you?
Channel 3 and 5?
No, channel 15.
15. Okay.
Yes.
We got a few people there.
Yes.
All right. Good to see you. All right.
Do you want to sit down? Do you want to sit down?
Do you have relatives in the media business? You look so familiar. No, I'll stand.
Okay.
I'll stand.
So you're just your handcuffs?
Okay, I'm ready to go. All right. I just want to say there's no probable cause. It's absolutely legal to resist arrest with force to the extent of taking an officer's life if necessary. That is federal law. That is U.S. Supreme Court case law that states that. And I want to go back to the beginning and just say there was no probable cause or reasonable suspicion or a traffic violation to make this stop in the first place. So I did not stop the vehicle. It was an unlawful attempt to make an unlawful arrest. It was an unlawful arrest, and there is no probable cause. I called the mayor, tried to get him on the phone to resolve the situation. I also called 911. I left a report. I told them that they were attempting to make an unlawful arrest to call their officers back. Their officers did turn off their lights and back off for a bit. Then at the very end, when I got off the highway there, they drove off the highway. They had their lights off. An unmarked vehicle attacked me abruptly, bumped into the vehicle. So I sped off to, resist the unlawful arrest. And an accident ensued and got out of the vehicle and was arrested. So anyways, one more thing I was missing. Oh yeah, a detective called me after I called 911. He was not able to tell me why they were attempting to make the stop in the first place. He couldn't justify probable cause. There was none whatsoever. He couldn't have a reasonable conversation about why they wanted to stop me in the first place. So I think that sums it all up. I would like to either get like a pro bono federal civil lawyer, or I have a relative, Scott Taebel in Wisconsin, who could file a suit from Chicago and subpoena all the evidence from the case, including the 911 call, including the conversation with the detective. The phone call to the mayor was probably recorded. They can subpoena all the helicopter camera footage and the police reports and anything that's been written down by the district attorney's office. So I'd like to file a suit against the city and against the district attorney's office and proceed that way and file for a federal injunction against any prosecution coming from the city if they do not immediately drop the charges and release me now.
Were you worried about hurting anyone else?
What's that?
Did you have anything inside of your car, any stolen items?
Negative. I'm not a criminal law. If you have an impression that I've been arrested, look at the federal case laws that I have. I have several against me for unreasonable arrests without probable cause. I've had several issues with police before for being charged for things that I was absolutely innocent of, and I'm filing suits against them for those arrests. So there seems to be a pattern here of several arrests against me for things I have not done. They're all in the federal courts. It's all out there for everybody to review. And this is another perfect example of being stopped and arrested for something that I did not do and without reasonable cause. So the police are out of line here. They need better training. Furthermore, there is federal case law or federal law, 18 U.S.C. section 241 and 242, that protects citizens' rights of America to a high degree. And they say arrests without probable cause can be considered kidnapping or attempted kidnapping for prosecutions as well. It can warrant life in prison. It can warrant the death penalty. So that is one of the greatest laws ever written to uphold the U.S. Constitution. And they can be charged, including the prosecutors, under this section if they do not drop the charges and release me immediately.
Were you
Why
worried
didn't you
about
just
hurting
pull
anyone
over?
else when you got off the freeway and you slammed into that car? Were you worried about hurting anyone else?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I said to the police, to the 911 operator, it was on the message, they should pull that and make it public. Here's my verbal consent, was I didn't want to jeopardize anyone's safety on the road. And I said that to the detective too. I said, call the officers back. I don't want them to attack me. I don't want to jeopardize anyone's safety. They were throwing spike strips, you know, at me along the road as I was just driving along. I wasn't really running. I was just kind of driving along and moving out of the way. Anyways, and then I drove back to the college. I'm currently enrolled as an ASU student. I take a couple filmmaking courses. I am a filmmaking major. I have a website, mitchtaebel.us. It has links to my production websites, to my photography websites, to a number of things I've done, if anyone's not familiar with that.
Why didn't you just
Go ahead.
pull over and ask the officer why he was stopping you to avoid this whole mess?
Yeah, well, I was concerned that it was going to result in some kind of unlawful arrest, and I didn't trust some detective in an unmarked car, a detective driving out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't think he was state police. He was probably city police, the original officer. But it was kind of a shady-looking car. I mean, it was an old beaten Crown Royal, and I just had funny vibes about it. I wasn't going to stop for the guy, and there was no reason to stop me because there was no traffic violation.
So if it was a
Sorry.
marked car, you would have...
If it was a different car, a different officer, I may have felt differently about stopping. But yet there was still no reason to stop in the first place. So you don't have to stop if there is, or you shouldn't have to stop if the laws vary. You don't have to stop.
What
Yeah.
was going on when he was trying to pull you over?
It was just he was driving very slow on the road, and I didn't want to pass him. So I got over behind him because he was going like 10 miles under the speed limit. So I didn't want to actually pass him. So I slowed down, and then as cars started to build up behind us, I moved into the right lane in case they wanted to pass, but they didn't pass either. They just hung out to either watch what was going on, or they didn't want to pass the officer themselves. Whatever the reason was, they didn't want to pass either. So we just drove along, and then after I moved over into the right lane, shortly after he moved into the left lane.
So you knew it was an officer?
I did know it was an officer, yes.
You said the car was shady and you didn't know.
Oh, yes. It was like an old Crown Royal. I mean, it was the most unprofessional looking police car like I've ever seen.
What were you
is
doing
what I'm
out
gonna say.
there? In that
Anyways,
part,
I was out there driving around. I was either going down to the Amtrak station or I was thinking about going to San Diego. I was kind of going in between. I was going to get out of Phoenix because I just hit class for the day, so I had a few days off. I was going to go to San Diego or to the Amtrak. And then as I was driving down, I realized that the Amtrak was like the following day, and then I thought I might go back to the airport. So then I turned back around to go up to the Phoenix airport to fly back to Chicago. That's what I was doing. I don't know what this officer was out there doing or why he attempted to stop me, but he had no valid reason whatsoever.
Black SUV that you crashed into who had to go to the hospital with injuries?
Was it black or it was black? Mm-hmm. Not gray?
It was a dark colored,
Okay.
I believe black.
Okay. Yeah, how bad were her injuries?
She was taken to the hospital.
She was taken to the hospital. Yes, she should file a joint suit along with me against the city because I said to the police twice and I said to the mayor, I said, look, I don't want to jeopardize anyone's safeties. They're making an unreasonable, unlawful stop. I was stopping to get gas, and they attacked my vehicle and bumped into it in unmarked vehicles. I made a 911 report that I thought corrupt police officers were attempting to make an unlawful arrest. And after the police backed off and turned off their lights, unmarked vehicles that were not even like police vehicles, unmarked vehicles made an abrupt a turn to block me in, and the other one just bashed into the back of me. So I was abruptly attacked, and I just, sped off to resist the unlawful arrest. So it's unfortunate that anyone else had to be involved in an accident. I said it twice. I said it at the 911 call, and I said it to the detective who called me, and I may have said it a third time to the mayor. I really didn't want anything to happen. They had no reason to make any kind of aggressive stop or to throw spike strips. Completely unreasonable. There wasn't like a big crime. They said it was for like an unsafe lane change is what they told me, and then speeding after they were pursuing me. So that doesn't really make sense why they would want to actively, aggressively chase somebody down who doesn't want to stop, who believes they're under attempt of unlawful arrest, and who's calling 911, explaining that to them so they know who I am. They have my phone, they have my license plate, they have my identity. If they want to pull a warrant for like a speeding ticket, go ahead, but you don't aggressively chase people and pursue them, because it just instigates issues and can cause problems and jeopardize the safety of other people. And I said it several times. I didn't want that to happen. So anyways, it pursued. So I think the police and the city should be held liable for her accident, for my accident. I will be filing a suit against them. She should as well. Also, I don't know where the mayor is. I called the mayor's office. I left a message. Did not call back. I have not heard from the mayor. So I don't know what's going on. He hasn't heard an official statement from me regarding this case and the prosecution. So now it's been made. So hopefully he'll reconsider and dismiss these charges immediately.
At the end
Go
of
ahead.
the day, you're responsible for the speed of your vehicle. Are your perceived freedoms more important than the potential lives of other people?
Now, I wasn't really speeding. I got a speeding ticket.
115 miles an hour is speeding. And
When was that 115?
That's where you were clocked.
Clocked where? When?
Probably on the highways.
Clocked on the highways? It's in the police. Have you seen the police reports? Excuse me, can I get water? Can I get a cup of water here?
Not until you get back into your housing unit.
What's that?
Not until you get back into your housing
Excuse me? Okay, that's fine. Forget the water. All right, one last thing. I just want to say there's also a speeding ticket in there for over 85 miles an hour. If you review the video footage on the highway, I was hardly speeding, just driving along. At the very end there, it was an unfortunate attempt to escape or to resist an unlawful arrest, and that's what it had to be. I had to speed off, and that's just what happened. They're entirely accountable for that. I warned them twice. You call 911, they can get in touch with state police, they can get in touch with city police, and everything. So that's it. I'm all wrapped up. What's that?
Do you consider yourself a sovereign
Absolutely,
citizen?
I'm all American. Look, one more thing. I've got to get bailed out. Hopefully,
Why did you have a license plate?
Let me
You
fi-
sovereign citizens don't
let
have-
me finish, and then you can talk. Okay, so one last thing. I've got to get bailed out. I got to get out of here immediately. I'd like to do this in finer clothes and not in an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. This is degrading, and I don't like it. I'll file a suit for this in itself. Anyways, I'd like to continue this in finer clothes. The bail is $400,000 right now. If they don't, they should just drop the charges altogether immediately right now, or they can all be charged under Section 241 or 242.
Just one last thing, you
Yeah.
keep mentioning that it was an unlawful arrest, but then you stated that they were trying to pull you over for an illegal lane change.
Right, which never happened. Right. Hey, listen, police can't go around harassing people to be the man. Okay, that's what they attempt to do. I have several cases in the courts where they just go out and arrest people
So you're
for
saying you
unreasonable
never made an
range.
illegal lane
And
change?
this is exactly, it never happened. Where's the dash cam of the illegal lane change on the highway?
So how many cases
So
like this
it didn't
have you
happen.
won?
What's that?
How many cases like this have you won?
Your suits.
He's-
How many?
Okay, that's it. We're wrapped up today.
So
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. I'm out of here.
Goodbye.
All right, everybody, that's going to do us here for us on News Now this Thursday. That was Mitchell Taebel, the 31-year-old accused of causing that wreck in Phoenix yesterday. That huge wreck there in Tempe, right by Arizona State University. Thanks so much for joining us on the Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live, for joining us on YouTube, for joining us on Extra, which is channel 45, cable 9. We hope to see you tomorrow. Have a